AM 970 WSTX.
It's a very special Tuesday because we have our delegate to Congress, Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, in the house, talking about all things delegate as well as all things constituent.
Well, good morning, Doug. I'm here with Richard Motta, the press secretary for our office. And we just wanted to come and talk with you about what's happening in Washington, what constituent services and work we're doing. Of course, this is graduation season, and we've been really busy going to the different graduations. St. Thomas had quite a few. This week we're starting with the high schools on St. Croix. So we're really excited, and I mean, it's a wonderful thing to watch the young people hear about their accomplishments and what they're going to be doing in the future. Everybody knows I try and keep my remarks brief because it's not about us up on the stage, it's about the graduates, and we wanted them to get their time and go out and celebrate safely with one another.
Can you bottle that and distribute it to some of these other folks about keeping it brief part?
1 minute. I speak for 1 minute.
Because some of them thinking it's like about them.
Yeah. And I just feel like that's not the time to talk about your initiatives, what you've been working on. This is just to give a quick thank you to the young people, congratulate them, and move on.
Yep, exactly.
Let them know we got their back, we're there for them. Just encourage them to do as much as possible, and that's it.
All right.
Well, we have a really great team here in the district. Richard is the press secretary. Elizabeth Centeno is the district director. Cletus Clendenin works in our St. Thomas office doing field work and casework, constituent casework, as well as Laverne Joseph in the Frederickstead office. We have a young man, Dominic Latti, who does our research, legislative research, and we've been helped out by Kaiser Callwood for a short while as well. Okay, so we have a pretty robust group. We also really encourage young people. We have a lot of internships.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have interns in both our Frederickstead and our Port of Sale office. We encourage young people, both high school, college graduates, to come and do a month, couple of weeks with us. We always think it's exciting. We even have Virgin Islanders that are in our DC office. Right now, it's a little tight for space even up there. I think we have 3 going on 4 interns in the DC office. So it's a little cramped, but it's exciting.
Well, it's like a great experience for those young people.
And it keeps us fresh as well. They have great new ideas. They encourage us to think outside of the box. And that's always great.
Okay. Well, I will say that I've had a couple of people who have, mentioned things, and I said, you need to talk to your delegate. Those things are kind of federal oriented, and maybe she could assist. And the feedback I got in terms of the reception at the office and everything else was very positive.
Okay, good.
And that's important because you don't want people to feel in any way inhibited about coming to an office and talking, and because that's the biggest problem sometimes is when they want to crucify you for a problem they never talk to you about.
Yeah. And I think particularly here at home, our offices, we really try and make it hospitable, try and make it a place where people can come, even if you don't have a problem, if you just want to come and check in and say hello, they're always really welcome to hear from people and hear ideas. But Doug, I wanted to say something about graduations. One of the things as a member of Congress we really have the honor of doing is nominating people to the military academies. And we have been doing it, particularly Cletus Clendenin has taken on this mantle of really pushing this. And so the last 2 years, we have been going to the high schools. He wants to even go to the junior highs, talking to the young people about this tremendous opportunity. You get 4 years scholarship, right? When you go to West Point Naval Academy, Merchant Marines, Coast Guard, Air Force Academy. They pay you after the first year. You come out with, as an officer, great assignments, see the world, and listen, who doesn't want to hire a Naval Academy graduate, a West Point graduate, Air Force? Everybody, they jump in front of the line in terms of their resumes afterwards. But we hadn't been having a lot of people who had applied in the past, And Cletus has done a great job of generating interest in it, bringing former Academy graduates from the Virgin Islands as well as those that are there. And most importantly, one of the things that we did was I don't make the nominations, I don't make the recommendations. We have a board that does it. Excuse me. And the board consists of former military officers, educators here in the Virgin Islands. And so I have to give a shout out to those people who have worked on our nominating board, Ms. Rhea Dowling, Johan Clendinnen, General Tim Lake, Randolph Bennett, and former Principal Carmen Howell. So we got people from the various islands. They look at the packets and the applications of all of our students. And how many do we have this year, Richard?
We had, I think, 9 that went up, and of the 9, I believe 7.
We got 7 that were accepted.
7 that were accepted.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes,
so
awesome.
From when I came in, I
awesome,
think we had like
fantastic.
2,
We had like 2, yeah.
and now we have 7, plus the
Fantastic.
ones that are already there. We are rolling.
So I think that really speaks to you know, the hard work of getting that message out and doing that outreach to the students and letting them know that there is this opportunity available.
Well, you know, all I'm going to ask you to do is whenever you can, just point those folks our way here in terms of interviews. And I say that especially in the context of videotaping for circulation in the schools, because it is an inspiration when people, I know he
Right.
used,
Right.
yeah, that's my big brother friend.
Yeah.
He doing that now, and you know that's just how it goes. So definitely, if you can, if you know, on their schedule, they're going, whether it's coming for festival, coming to visit, whatever. Just let me know, and we'll get a recording session either in studio or out of studio, because that's so important. Because then the wealth of that person's presence then can be literally taken to all these different
Exactly.
schools. You know.
The other thing that Congress has put together for over 20 years now is something called the Congressional Award. And this is given to young people who have done a certain amount of community service, physical activity, intellectual growth, a wide range of services and accomplishments that they put together at the beginning of this 2 or 3 year term. And then based on their progress and how much they've done, they can get a certificate, a bronze medal, a silver medal, and the gold medalists are brought to Washington and presented to the Congress for this congressional award. And yesterday I was able to present to Christopher Cilliers of St. Thomas the silver medal. So he did community work in the Dominican Republic, in Haiti, in Guatemala. I told he was a student at Trinity College. He put together a 5-day, 5-night excursion with a group of students from St. Thomas to go to the BVI and do some work. I told him I didn't want to know what happened on that boat, but I can imagine, you know, college students, it was fun. But he really did some great work. He was the MVP of his college football team, really advanced himself in terms of what he was going to accomplish on the team. And we've got a lot of Virgin Islanders who do those things and I think could be excellent. Listen, our Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, our Eagle Scouts, they already do everything that's required for this. So they could just be getting this award. Pathfinders, all kinds of community, kids who do a lot of community service. You meet the requirements. Come get the medal.
Okay, fantastic. In terms of finding out more information about that at some point in time, just point me to the right URLs and stuff so I can kind of repeat it. And because it's just like when I was involved with the scholarship at WAPA, you'd be surprised how many people, for instance, would leave the Virgin Islands, go to a technical school in the States, have to rough their way through paying for the technical school, and then get out and didn't have a job. And here we are giving away scholarships for people to do the exact same thing, and the word just wasn't getting out in a lot of ways. So we want to make sure we get the word out. There's so many opportunities, and it's there for the taking.
So for the Congressional Award, you can just go to, if you have access online, you could go to www.congressionalaward.org. And for the service academies, you can just go to our website, plaskett.house.gov, and you'll find a tab on your right-hand side for the service academies.
Okay.
And if you don't have internet access, you could just always call our office, and we'll be able to help you get that information. So our the St. Croix office, the number at the St. Croix office is 778-5900, and St. Thomas is 774-4408.
All right. Well, you know, it's there are parents out there I know that are really aggressive about what they get their children involved with. I noticed one parent, they already done decide their child going to Harvard and this and that.
Yeah.
Da. I said, okay,
That's good.
as long
Set
as
goals, set
you
those
know,
goals.
Are you
set the
talking about
goals.
us title moms?
No, actually, this is the ferocious dad.
Listen, my son went away for a school trip, the 16-year-old Israel, and when he came back, I had organized that room because I didn't like the way he did it. And sitting on his desk were 4 additional summer reading books and a composition book on sentence structure and paragraphs, right? Important. Important.
Yeah, I came across this book, you know, in some moving around. I came across this book with a lot of words that every high school student should know. And I started going through it and said, okay, all right, you know,
words.
you know, and so I passed it right on to the young lady, and in my case here, I look back at those things and I say, what? You know, how come nobody didn't tell me about all these awards when I was in high school? All the things I might do, I could have got some. It's a different world today.
It is.
And you just have to stay on
Information
top
is
of it.
available now in a manner that it wasn't before. I mean, you know, and before, if you weren't this person or that person to know the right people to get the information, you were out the game. But now, everybody has access.
The playing field has really been leveled in that respect. Of course, you can't compete with who's connected to some degree, but you know, skill does have a place in everything, and if you have that skill of mining information and getting it, Okay, so what's your schedule looking like today in St. Croix?
Well, I flew down on Friday, went to some graduations on St. Thomas, came over to St. Croix. I went to the technical career graduation yesterday, and I will be at Complex today. And then I have to fly back in the afternoon because Congress is actually in session. Right now.
Okay. All right.
June and July is a heavy period for Congress where we are there. We're supposed to be in hearings. We're supposed to be passing laws.
You mean the ones that they tell you can participate in, but you never know where they are, so you can go?
Right. Well, you know, there is a where you can go online and see. Right now, I am the
last I hear, they have a health bill being worked on, and nobody can find out
behind
where.
closed doors. I understand that the health bill is coming up for a vote potentially next week. So when we come back now, they're probably going to hash out the last pieces behind closed doors, and then present a bill just as they did with the House bill a week from now, and we'll see what happens with that. But there's other things that we're supposed to be working on. And because if the bills are not aligned very well, then there'll be reconciliation, or it may have to be scrapped, start again. We'll see. We're supposed to be working on tax reform. We're supposed to be working on an infrastructure bill. We are beginning work on a farm bill. So I sit on the agriculture committee, and we are now starting listening tours where we're going around the country, hearing from rural development and from farmers, livestock owners about the things that are working and not working in the farm bill for the next farm bill coming up.
Okay, fantastic. Well, a lot of things supposed to be going on. One, I hope they get to it, and two, that when they do, that humanity wins out.
Right.
Because you know, I look at some of the things that are being proposed with the health bill, and how many people over 10 years, 23 million that purportedly could find themselves without health insurance. You know, you have this vision of America as the city on a hill, and that takes care of everyone. And all of a sudden, it's okay to let people fall through the cracks. That somehow it might be their manifest destiny to fall through the cracks. And that's just not America.
Right. Well, you know, it's interesting because we think about as America being this safety net for the poor, safety net to assist people move up from the lower class to the middle class to the upper class. But really, that didn't happen until the 40s, after the Great Depression. Before that, you were on your own.
On your own.
You're on your own.
And it's like they're trying to take us back
Right.
to being on your
And,
own.
and that just benefited the very wealthy. Before that, you know, the Rockefeller, the Mellons, you know, Standard Oil, all of that. And those same individuals are once again trying to create a society in which there's no safety net, there's no support.
Well, you know, this concept called capitalism, they make it sound as it's perfect and self-healing, and it is not. Because if the top 1% of the top 1% have everything, and the masses can't afford to buy the products that you make, then everything is going to collapse. So they've got to figure out a way to have these safety nets in a way that supports their goals in the process. And so it's in their interest to do that. So I keep my fingers crossed. You know, you want to have faith in humanity to rise above these challenges and to do better. So I keep my mind in that arena, and I do my little part.
Well, we also wanted to tell you about some of the new things that we're going to be doing here in the district
You
as
got it.
well. We are trying to have, and negotiating with other members and with staff in Congress, to have several groups of members coming down on different topics. Right now, Angie Muckle, who's in our DC office, is the legislative director, is working to put together a group of members from Homeland Security, Judiciary, to come and look at our border issue and how that affects crime in our society here in this territory.
Fantastic.
The amount of guns and drugs that are coming through the Virgin Islands as a transshipment port. You know, I tell members of Congress, listen, you purchased us, and the creation of the Virgin Islands was because of our strategic location as a means for commerce. Drug dealers are smart people, and they've seen that as well. And there's been a rise of guns and drugs coming through the Virgin Islands going into the state. There's an account that between us and Puerto Rico, almost 20, I'd say about 17% of all the drugs coming into the United States come through this little area known as the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. And we do not have the resources to combat that, and hence we are also seeing part of, you know, there's multi reasons why we have the crime that we have. Jobs, lack of after school and other activities, rise of gangs, but there's a good part of it that's related to guns and drugs.
Well, the one thing I would tell you to emphasize is that it can also become a resources channel for terrorists. Just because they have not stepped forward and exploited it, the same difference with they didn't lock the doors on the planes, and now it's like, duh, why we didn't do that from before?
Oh, it's not going to be it, or we already are seeing that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's an interesting.
Yeah. We call them foreign fighters.
Yeah, well, not just the fighters, the actual resources. Okay, if you can move guns through, then you can move components for bombs through, and you know, it's just like, hello, this isn't about us trying to get more resources to enrich in ourselves.
Right.
This is to keep us safe, because we fly those planes too, and we come there too, and we want to be safe when we're there too.
We're also trying to have one of those farming listening tours here in the Virgin Islands for the Agriculture Committee to go to St. Croix, go to St. Thomas, visit Bordeaux, visit and see how our farmers are faring, the work that they need. We're continuing to work on the drought monitor issue for our farmers and livestock owners. But Richard, who just so everybody knows, Richard is back. He's now living back home. He did his tour of duty in DC and is working out of our St. Croix office, and we also have some other constituent initiatives that we're going to be working on.
To his credit, he was so accessible, it really was like he didn't leave, you know? So he's been accessible. So now I could walk across the street and say, hey, Richie, what they done?
So like the Congresswoman was mentioning, June and July is really a busy time for Congress. But August, they have this thing called August recess, and it's really a time for them to get back into their district and to kind of really, you know, reimmerse themselves in the community, you know, for a longer period of time instead of weekends that you know that they do customarily. So we're trying to use that opportunity and really maximize it and get a lot of initiatives going in the territory. And so one of the ones that I'm particularly interested in is actually a year-round initiative. It's still in its infancy, but we want to call it the Unsung VI Heroes Project. And what we really want to do is open a challenge to all Virgin Islanders, not just school-aged children, but we really would like maximum participation from the schools, public, parochial, private. And what we're challenging people to do is to do a short video or essay, something no more than a minute, just a quick pitch, basically making the case for someone you're nominating as an unsung hero in Virgin Islands history and why this person is important. And then what we'll do is, in turn, during the month of March, which everyone knows is VI History Month, the Congresswoman has these 1-minute opportunities to go onto the House floor and speak into the congressional record. And so we'll pick the best ones, and she'll read those into the congressional record.
Fantastic.
And so, yeah.
Keep me posted on that.
Definitely.
I've got some young people working on some video-related projects, and that sounds like something to challenge them with.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And then you talk about the mobile.
Oh yeah, and so we.
Okay, well I tell you what. Why don't you hold that one?
Okay.
We're gonna feed the station for a quick second here, and then we'll be back.
News Talk for the Virgin Islands, AM 970 WSTX.
All right, folks, we're back here on Reflections, WSTX AM 970, your community-minded station. All right, that brings you people and organizations doing positive things in the community. Every now and then, of course, we got to cross a negative bridge, but it's always to get to the positive side, okay? So, don't tell me the problem. We already know the problem. Let's talk about how we go fix the problem. Or don't tell me about how poor something is. Let's figure out how to make it richer, better, and everything else. And that's why we're having this conversation here with the delegate, because her challenge every day, her every waking moment is how to take what's good and make it better. And if she could find something that's not too good, how to at least get it to the good point and get it better.
Right. Well, this is a challenging time in Washington. We were talking offline about the amount of cuts that are going to be occurring. We are trying to reach into the community, be more proactive about supporting people. Richard was going to talk about another initiative we have, which is not just having people come to our office, but bringing our office to you. So we're also going to have mobile office hours as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So the rationale behind that is we understand that everyone can't make it into the Frederickstead office sometimes, and so we are in the process of going around identifying certain locations, and starting in August we will have what's called mobile office hours, and it's just basically setting up a desk with our constituent information, some of the stuff that our office is able to help constituents with, and basically just bringing the office and the services of the office to the community in different areas. So we're going to try to go to places like the VA clinic, like Herbert Gregg, like
go to
Social
Milena,
Security,
Milena seniors. Go down to Coral Bay in St. John to help people.
And I'm going to tell you, that's very effective. That's something that's underutilized, okay? Us making the pilgrimage down to Frederickstead in the context of the senators, for instance,
Right.
is the perception and the fact that you're making yourself more available and more accessible by going out and meeting them where they are. It's not novel, and it's definitely something I think will be well appreciated and embraced. I do something like that from a different perspective. Sometimes I go out and I film these various programs, and there are people who can't get out literally to the program, and I take a DVD and I give it to them, and it's like they're able to have been there and experience it, and the difference it makes. But this what you're doing is like, I commend you for doing that, because they say power to the people, delegate to the people.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, so we're really excited about getting those initiatives. So there'll be more to come on that. So everyone just look out for those things come August. The delegate's going to be here for the entire month, and so we'll be out in the community.
And for the mobile office hours, we will let people know well in advance
Right.
where we're going to be, how, the hours we're going to be there, giving multiple forms of communication about it, whether it be radio, newspaper, and stuff, so that people have an opportunity to get their papers together if it's an issue, so that they can come there with that. And then just in terms of some of the other activity that's not necessarily in hearing rooms or whatever, I am now one of the co-chairs of the Caribbean Caucus in Congress. We're working on issues that are really relevant to the Caribbean as a whole, really trying to expand the caucus. I've talked with some members in Miami, members in New York about joining the caucus, members across the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, so that we can work together on some of those issues related to the Caribbean. And how is the Caribbean going to fare in this administration? You look at Haiti with the temporary protective status and the deportation of almost 50,000 Haitians out of New York that's going to be, out of the United States, is going to be happening in the next few months, some other issues. And then we just joined the Bipartisan Climate Solutions Caucus. A member from Miami, Carlos Corbello, who's a Republican, started a caucus that you have to find a Republican to join with you, or if you're a Republican, you have to find a Democrat to join the caucus. And we are looking at how do we as a nation bring climate solutions to our communities. With the Paris Accord, us leaving the Paris Accord, there were a lot of opportunities for jobs that were coming out of that in terms of alternative energy.
Yeah, and for investment in alternative energy.
So we're trying to figure out, how do we, as members of Congress, how do we bring back to our communities the solutions to combat climate change in those areas?
I like that formula. You gotta bring a Democrat, or if you're a Republican, and if you're a Democrat, you gotta bring a Republican, because the bottom line is working together, and that's we got to get back to it if we're gonna make progress, as opposed to being kind of stagnating the way things.
So I'm grateful to Barbara Comstock, who's a member from Virginia. She and I actually many years ago worked at the Justice Department together, and she agreed to be my partner to the dance, be my date to go to the Climate Solutions Caucus.
Just a trivia type of thing. Caribbean connections. I'm sure throughout the Congress, there are different people in there that have
a lot more.
Various
in
Caribbean.
this last Congress, we got a lot more.
Okay, that'd be just an interesting trivia type of thing.
You want me to tell you?
Well, give us a few.
So everybody knows, of course, Yvette Clarke, who's a member from Brooklyn. She has one of the largest Caribbean constituents. She's of Jamaican descent. We just got Darren Soto, who's Puerto Rican. He represents Orlando. Anthony Brown in Maryland is of Jamaican descent. Many people don't know Don McCutcheon, who's a member from Virginia Beach area, is Kittitian, of Kittitian background. So, we've expanding. Mia Love, a Republican out of Utah, is from Haiti, or is a Haitian American. And so we're really expanding our group. Sheila Jackson Lee, her family is actually Jamaican by way of Panama. Frederica Wilson, also of Miami area. Her family is from the Bahamas. So we got a nice mass group, right?
Yeah. Well, I want our young people to know that it didn't stop with what's the show on Broadway? It didn't stop with Hamilton. It's still going on.
Right. This is interesting because the month of June is Caribbean American History Month. So.
June 26th, many tune in late in the evening on C-SPAN if you can. We will be giving a tribute to Caribbean Americans, an hour on the floor, other members coming and talking about the achievements of Caribbean people in America, across history and into the present as well.
And we have a lot of Virgin Islanders on that list.
Oh, and wait, the other two I forgot to mention also is now from Adriana Espiat, who is a new member from Harlem. He's Dominican. And Greg Meeks always wants me to recognize him, even though he's not Caribbean. His wife is a Malloy from Fredericksburg.
Okay. Okay, so he got the family connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we welcome all. And that's one of the things I have to say in the Caribbean is we're very embracing. We have to be more protective in being embracing, that we don't just open the doors and let everybody come and clean out your house. But
I feel like the Virgin Islands is a place where we welcome people who are willing to give us a chance, willing to make a new start. We have a mosaic of different people here in the Virgin Islands. But the one thing I express to people is we need not be the only place where we adapt to other cultures. Mm-hmm. Other cultures need to adapt to the rich culture that is the Virgin Islands, which has meshed a lot of cultures together to create what we are. But it's something that's worthy of continuing and teaching our children, and for whatever hue or color you look like, being proud of being a Virgin Islander and what that means.
Well, whenever I went to Labor Day in Brooklyn,
I go in there this September.
Okay, let me
Doug,
tell you.
come with me.
It's only one Virgin Islands, It don't matter.
No. It's one flag.
I love that program because that's where you see the unity of being from the Virgin Islands shine through. All of this other stupidness that some people get in their head just gone.
Well, you find that whenever you go to Virgin Islands communities in the States, that we don't have the numbers to be, you St. Tomians stay over there, you St. Jonians stay over there, Crucians over there. We have to be together, right? So the group in Atlanta, it's one Virgin Islands group. New York, the Freshwater Association, that's one group.
Yeah, and I love it. It's really refreshing when you see that, and you want to bring it back as much as possible, and when you find it here, export it as much as possible.
Right.
Okay. So you folks got a graduation you got to go to, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I understand that. I'll keep you here all day, figuratively speaking, although I don't have the station all day. But I really want to thank you for making the time to come by.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, and thank you for the inspiration to look harder at this Tuesday that was here so lonely and wanting. And now the reflections is on Tuesday. Who knows? Okay, maybe there's a relationship building here with me and my Tuesdays.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely keep you posted as we get some concrete dates on some of those initiatives that we're going to be launching in August. So.
Fantastic. Especially that
Mobile office hours.
Not
the Unsung Virgin Islands Heroes. The
Unsung Virgin Islands Heroes, and but the mobile office definitely make sure that I know so I can talk about it every time that I'm on, and share the word with my colleagues in here to keep the word out there. Okay?
We appreciate
And I really commend you on doing that, taking it to the people. Ain't just election time, take it to the people. It's all the time, whenever you can.
And listen, if you have internet access, if you have emails, please go online to plaskett.house.gov, sign up for our newsletters. We push out an email blast twice a month with the activities and things that we're working on. We'd love for you to keep you informed that way as well.
All right, fantastic. Well, Delegate, it was my pleasure. And I look forward to the next time you come by here, most definitely, and sharing this with the general public, not only now, but when we also produce the video, put it on YouTube, or otherwise make it available to you to disseminate to people who are interested in what you have to say, what you're doing, and how it impacts them.
Thank you. And don't forget the listing of camps for me, please, Doug.
Oh, no, I'm not going to forget that. Yeah, you and I, we partners in that one. We got these young folks that we got to get them under control, Miss Son. Make sure they come home tired.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic. All right, have a great day, and hope everything goes well with the all your activities today. Careful on the road, Miss Son. This small place called St. Croix, and everybody driving like, my goodness. And it's so funny, you're trying to get out someplace, and as you see them coming, and they say, you gonna wait till I pass. You don't see them speed up? All right. Have a great day. All right.